So, I know it's been a while. I've been busy. I haven't been idle. Uh, I'm, I've done a lot actually since I got back. Oh, I just heard a ringing in my head. I don't know if that's the tone that signifies that I'll be airlifted out of here, but I don't have any worries about going back to my first estate. Let's put it that way. I don't. And it doesn't matter how awful I've been or how the terrible things I've done or anything, because I know that I was deceived now, how I was influenced by all the people around me that deserve to be chastised, that influenced me to do things against my nature. Let's just put it that way. All that's going to come out in the books, but I don't feel like, oh, because I did things against my nature, that it was mainly to do with like sex, really. But I've also been like a frickin' like really tyrannical. Let's just put it that way. I can be very tyrannical. I have a bad temper, but I don't apologize for that at all. So people are always seeming to get, feeling like, oh, I don't want to be like that because then it's not like me. I want to be a nice person. So they let themselves be handled. They let themselves be gang stalked. So I want to do a post called the TI Who Cried Wolf. That happens time and time again. I'm fully aware of that phenomenon or that predicament. I don't discount your suffering. I understand it. It's just that I grew up with that, with my mother, who was a victim of the Allen Memorial, UN Cameron mind control experiments. And she was immobilized, incapacitated, drugged, electroshocked, and went through her whole life as a repeat of this trauma that she couldn't voice or say anything, yet she was in bed most of the time on tranquilizers and antidepressants that the doctors made sure she stayed on. And that is including her GP that was my GP in Toronto for almost 20 years, Dr. Jean Marmorio. She actually made damn sure that my mother did not get off her meds. When she did, she started to exhibit all the classic signs of awakening, and the doctor just put her on more meds. So there you go. And Dr. Jean Marmorio was the business partner of that wretch who is the Indian Affairs Minister in the Liberal government right now, Carolyn Bennett, who is, some crusty white upper class or middle class. Nobody's upper class, especially not those people. They think they are, but it's only by stealing other people's stuff and that they get that way, and being horrible to other people through these satanic bloodlines that conveniently they might not remember. So it's quite the, cover up. I don't give a shit. I've got all the evidence I need, and I am moving forward. So I don't, although I sympathize with TIs who have, these problems of not getting angry or not getting mean and mad to, say F you to whoever, and it's usually always your family, then, I get it, but you do have to do that in order to survive, like you do. If you don't, I don't know, just keep suffering. But the TI Who Cried Wolf, I only have so much empathy for. And not only that, but sometimes, many times, I will learn later that this TI had resources in their back pocket that I don't even have. So, it's like, oh shit, I helped that person? Fuck. Anyway, Just a little note of that. But my case, there is an active case, of course. I think you know it's the case that made the news in December. MK Ultra victims of Ewan Cameron at Montreal Hospital. Their families are now filing suit. So that is me. I'm I'm a daughter of my mom, and of course she appeared in a film clip getting electroshocked by Ewan Cameron. So I mean, if they really want evidence, there it is. But I am waiting for the records. There's the group is good because they're pushing to get the records as a united group, and of course the media aided this group coming together and the lawsuit being formed. That's the formula, essentially, is media awareness and legal action. And this, I think, is actually as good of an economic reevaluation as any. That would be an awesome way for the meek to inherit the earth. There are multiple, endless injustices done through all these institutions that we've grown up through with, that have caused damage, death, irreparable harm to our there's an accident down the road, to ourselves, our families, our bloodlines, our loved ones. I think almost everyone has been affected by that. So I encourage everybody to start doing that. That's the only economic reevaluation I'm interested in. The rest are just red herrings. It'll never happen. The formula is for actually changing our timeline is truly like influencing the herd. It is. I mean, you could, call it whatever, cesspool, quagmire, the media, as it is, but that is the medium from which to influence in order to change the timeline. I can do some of it on my own because I believe that that's the kind of person I am, which is why I'm super high targeted, but I've also got a much more resilient shell, which I can just bombastically badass like move, exist in without, the typical things that most humans need, like love and care and attention. Like I forgo those things. I can't, I do it myself, right? I can't, I just can't waste time there. I have a mission, and I'm lucky to have one because most people don't, or they shy away from it. I've been given this opportunity, and to me it seems like I would be a fool not to take it. Having those pictures on the internet of my whole family, well, my mom, dad, and me, is truly like a gift. So I'm moving forward with all that. The one lawsuit is just there. I'll have, my particular case and my father's, that's going to just have to come. And I do, I'm hoping for a positive outcome for all that. And that's just something I'm just going to trust will reveal itself at the right time and place. And that is kind of like the same as my healing. I clearly do need healing, but I'm okay. Certainly doctors are like, you're okay, right? I'm probably healthier than a lot of people. I do a lot of things for my health. I'm able to fast and cleanse and take care of myself better than most people. I do have discipline. I don't smoke cigarettes. The only thing I do is drink red wine. That's it, So, and I do take, I ingest cannabis, ingest it. I'll occasionally smoke it for entertainment, but that's it. I don't believe smoking it actually is really therapeutic or medicinal. It is, I think, entertainment. But I think ingesting it is really the best. And that would be the same thing as all these therapies that are suggested by TIs and abuse survivors. To me, it's the best. I mean, I've tried everything. Yoga, meditation, and I know, like, oh, Satan be gone. And that is my catch for all that stuff, where it's like, oh no, it's like, it's gonna lead you down. Yeah, everything's gonna lead me down the wrong path. I know, I've been there. I know the difference now, and I can separate it as I move forward. And I'm not going to, like, eliminate knowledge to suit some dogma of the cult of Christianity. Let's face it. You know? So no one's going to tell me how their connection to God is better than mine. And that's not even the right word. The Father, you know, I don't even know. I have trouble with that because of my, all the programming. But yeah, I was at war with my dad almost constantly. But even, during the wars, we still, there was breaks and laughs and all that. And we got, my family actually knew each other better than most families because we had so many conflicts. And we would hang out and have a ball with black humor sometimes because we knew we were crazy and this was just freaking nuts. But nobody knew what they were dealing with, I guess. I know my dad knew more than he let on. My mother, I don't think so. I do receive messages in dreams, and I was able to ask her a while back in a dream that if she knew we were being experimented on, and she said no. So maybe that's true. I believe she's trying to protect my sister, help her. Right now, I'm not speaking to my sister because my sister is under so much mind control. She's an absolute liability to everything that I'm doing in my life, especially trying to get justice for my mom. So I'm just leaving her out of my life right now. And not to mention, I mean, everything she says is just freaking bullshit. And she's a manipulator. And because she's a mental patient on all these drugs and has this persona of a 10-year-old girl, even though she's a 58-year-old woman, I'm supposed to be nice and feel sorry for her, even though she's a murderer. But, can't blame her for that because she was crazy, right? So all this false flag shooting and stuff, I lived it in the 80s with my family, right? So I get it, right? And don't think that they weren't cataloging all this information, that we weren't under a microscope, figuring out how to steer public opinion, how humans react. That's exactly what happened. And, you can go, oh, prove it, whatever. I don't care. It's your problem. These are all suppositions, metaphors, until the reality becomes so obvious that everyone's like, oh yeah, you're right. And then, of course, no one will credit me saying it first. But I probably didn't even say it first. Other people are bringing these concepts forward as well, but they certainly aren't going, mainstream. I do keep a tab on the mainstream. I research a lot. As a TI, I don't get triggered. I just dive right in. I don't care. I'm numb to it. I do believe that some horrible stuff happened to me. I know that, or I don't know it because I can't remember it, but I believe there's a reason for that. It's so that I can do this stuff. I think what may be the case is that when or if I do heal the trauma in my brain, then I will die. I think maybe that's the thing. So I'm okay, and I'll do this until until the time is not right anymore. Because for me to take that road that many TIs do or suggest, just stay out of the public and, don't do this work, you'll be more targeted. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh, what does it matter? I'm not allowed, I can't live the other way. I just can't. I've tried so many times, and that's when the targeting starts. So, I've got my own formula, thank you very much, and I don't claim that I'm healed at all. I'm not. But I do believe this is, and I know that your body does workarounds. And I learned this as well in a German New Medicine course I took, about a month ago online from John Theobald. It was an online course, took like, I don't know, it was a day, and or just 6 hours or something. And so that was very good. I understood it, and I could apply it to what I feel and what maybe is going on with me. And what I learned is that there's backup systems in, with your heart, with your nervous system, that will kick in when the other systems fail. And I do believe that that is what's gone on with me, in my head and in my heart, and all the connections through my body, just from all my symptoms that I won't go into now. But that's what I think that explains it in at least a medical fashion, even though he was alternative and they railroaded him until he died, kicked him out of the country, that whole thing. That doctor, that was Dr. Hammer, German guy. That's what's called German New Medicine. But that explains some of it. I mean, I'm going to follow my own path to healing and knowing, and I believe every TI should do that. I also believe every TI should actually, follow their mission. I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a sticky wicket. You're going to encounter all kinds of nutcases, and these terms that I've actually defined. I think they're helpful so that we can get beyond these quagmires that are constantly happening. And one term that I think describes many situations well between TIs is, I've called it hitting the survivor firewall. So this is when you got two TIs, and this is everybody, but if you're hard programmed more so, or a part of the cult or the family, and you're unaware, or even if you're aware partially, this happens all the time. Two TIs will get together, and then it'll be a war. It'll be like, you're crazy, no, you're crazy, you're programmed, no, you're programmed, or it'll be like just any sort of defamation or trolling. And this, of course, happened to me with Ann Diamond. That's exactly what she did, even though she was totally unaware to admit it. She couldn't, even though none of it made any logical sense. But that doesn't matter. It's just about this program to discredit other TIs, and it only, other TIs don't like you to go further than they've gone in their own comfortableness with their programming. So if you go further, it can trigger them, and they will flash back on you. And I call that hitting the survivor firewall. And it could come in any form. So there's another term. Now another good term as well is I've coined as hitting the matrix bumper wall. Now this is I'm not even going to get into it now. I'm not, because I just want to make this a short video and give an update about my situation. It's like middle of August. I'm a business person, so I've actually transferred some assets from my aerial photography company to another business so that I don't have to deal with it anymore. I'm now going to invest in my art photography business, and it's all going to work together with the new media that I'm putting out. And this should be a good model for everybody, not just TIs what to do with their own material, but everybody. And then they can stop the wenching and complaining on Facebook. Of course, you need some talent and skill, but hopefully my modeling, I'll be able to show people how I did it, and then they can do it too, or not, I don't know. But at least it's going to be launching in a couple months, and that will be the platform for launching my new art show, MK Ultra Girl Remembers, which is my first concept-driven photographic art show, and my book, which is still in the first draft stage. So there's just a lot of back work, but I am getting onto it. And in the meantime, I'm enjoying my life in the Fraser Valley. I managed to get out of that crazy situation with the RV, and I, through an act of God, the real God, not the fake God, a Hail Mary pass, I call it, I landed in this awesome place for a good price that I can live in with my cats, in the area that I have chosen to live in, which is the way out Fraser Valley, North Fraser Valley. So that's good. And I even have a little part-time job, which has given me structure and friends, and it's been pretty good. Plus, I'm eating really well. The food here in the Fraser Valley is fantastic. I mean, fresh eggs, and this is glacial deposit land, some of it, and some of it is just so fertile. It's just, so I'm enjoying it, and I've gained a whole bunch of weight, but I'll be going back to Mexico, and I'm going to invite people to come there because I will have extra space and try to get this, that aspect, the events and the, I suppose, events, healing retreats going, just on a casual, limited, small scale, but I'm going to try to start that, and that's about it. I'll update more when I get more information. Okay, bye.